What's going on, guys? So I just got back from doing a long-term water fast in the middle of the most beautiful jungle on earth in Costa Rica at the Tangled Wellness Center with Lauren Lockman. And what I went through over the course of 30 days, not just during the time that I was fasting on water, during the whole process, from kind of the day I left my house until pretty much the day I got home, and I'm still experiencing some pretty remarkable things, but just the whole entire process was absolutely incredible. So I'm going to share kind of what I went through during the whole fast, some of the little weird things that happened, and just what it took for me to keep going, and just all the weird things that can happen, when somebody fasts. And so for me, there's a few reasons why I decided to do a long-term water fast. One of them is obviously to detox my body as best as I can. A lot of people think that, eating a consistent raw diet and eating fruit and juicing is gonna cleanse your body, but it doesn't. It doesn't. I've spent, I'm 36, almost 37. I spent most of my life up until I was probably 32 just pouring filth and disgusting sludge into my body. I ate literally cereal for at least a meal a day most of my life. When I was growing up, my parents didn't know anything about nutrition. I wasn't, we didn't have a ton of money. My parents weren't educated about health at all. And so our diet was like milk. I'd probably have 4 sodas a day. Definitely all the crappiest cereals like Lucky Charms and Fruit Loops and Cinnamon Toast Crunch, chocolate milk, and for our dinners would be just like a piece of chicken and green beans. That would be like, canned green beans. That would be like a healthy dinner for us. But that was like once or twice a week. All the other nights we'd have like McDonald's or Taco Bell or, like Velveeta mac and cheese or just something terrible. And so I grew up on the worst of the worst standard American diet. So in order to, on top of that, I did tons of drugs. I drank heavily for 10 years, pretty much every night. I smoked cigarettes for a long time, smoked tons of weed, done, all the other things. And I had a great time, but my whole life I have been funneling crap into my mouth. I never ate I never ate a single fruit or vegetable, really, ever. Like that, dude, we never had fruit ever growing up. Like occasionally bananas and apples and oranges, but like, maybe once a month I would have one of those things, It was like Pop-Tarts from the vending machine, Skittles and Danish rolls and donuts. And so I'm coming from a history of like severely, nutrient deficient, super dehydrated. Everything I was eating was dehydrated and cooked and processed and dry. And so, it's gonna take way more than just the 4 years that I've put into like trying to heal through food and juicing. The deepest levels and the deepest pockets of tissue, it takes a lot more than just juicing. The body needs a total rest. So for me, some of the issues that I was still having, that kind of led me down the road of, okay, I think I need to dig deeper. I always tell this to people, especially the people I work with, like if you're not getting the results from herbs or from juicing or from eating raw, you got to dig deeper. Like fasting is incredibly basic. It's what every species, what every animal on earth does when they get sick, when they get injured, when they cut themselves, when they get hurt, when they get, when they eat something that they shouldn't have. They lay down, they rest, and they fast. This is the most beautiful lost art form. It's not completely lost yet, but it is damn close, like there has been a lot of powerful people investing a lot of energy over the past, decade to century to eliminate natural health, and definitely fasting. Fasting is the oldest way of healing. It's been around forever. Jesus, 40 days and 40 nights. Like all the major important people fasted. Gandhi. There's just so much benefit to eliminating nutrients and to stop eating, because we have filled our lives with gluttony, and so we are addicted to eating, and it's killing us. The most healthy nations, the most healthy areas in the world, they're the kind of poor places because they don't eat the king's diet. They don't eat high meat. They eat mostly local produce, nowadays it's probably not all organic, obviously, but they eat mostly fresh food, you know, mostly carbohydrates, and that's not what we've been eating. That's definitely not what I've been eating. And so, you know, I was still experiencing, obviously, you know, if you've been following me for a while, I'm not like super buff by any means. I'm thin. And so I've tried everything. I've tried juice feasting. I did a 90-day juice feast. I've tried, you know, short water fast and eating raw and mono fruit meals and herbs. I've tried all of it, you know, and I just can't eliminate the waste that's needed to allow my body to start absorbing better, because I eat. You know, some people might look at me and be like, oh, this dude's anorexic or he's got an eating disorder. It's like, dude, I eat so much food. I eat at least minimum every day, at least 2,000 calories. Some days I eat upwards of 5,000 calories with, you know, juices and smoothies, and, you know, like sometimes I'll have fattier meals. But it's not until you give your body a total freaking rest from digestion of everything, nutrients, then your body can heal. Then it can go into the deepest parts, the deepest mechanisms of purging toxins. And that is what I went through completely, totally. It was monumental. So, you know, I wanted to be able to gain weight and muscle, because before I got sick, you know, hardcore sick, about 6-7 years ago, dude, I was super active. You know, I'm an athlete. I grew up playing baseball and basketball and soccer and hockey, and then I got into skateboarding and BMX and snowboarding and eventually surfing. And so I've always been an athlete. I've always been active. I've always been like pretty strong and healthy looking. So I want to start surfing again. I want to go snowboarding like I used to. You know, I worked in photography chasing pro athletes around for a decade, following them up mountains and jumping out of helicopters and, you know, going on surf trips. I was healthy. I had muscle, but I can't gain weight to save my life. You know, one of the other issues that I was trying to overcome was my digestion's not epic unless I don't eat any, you know, overt fats like avocado. I can have a little bit, but if I have it too much, too often, too frequent, my digestion starts to get slow. And, you know, that's a problem. I want to be able to eat fat. I need fat. Fat is important for sure. But, you know, that's one more thing. I've tried everything besides water fasting. You know, my skin wasn't perfect. My skin now, y'all, it is epic. But my skin wasn't perfect. I was breaking out on my forehead every once in a while, on my back, on my chest a little bit here and there. My clarity was kind of fading, you know, like during the first couple of years of hardcore juicing, I had a lot of clarity. I felt really good. But it, you know, it wasn't as clear and vivid as I want it to be. You know, my hormones are still kind of low. You know, I got a low testosterone, a lower sex drive, and I also have a really hard time sleeping. So if I eat late past like 6 or 7, I have a really hard time falling asleep. So I definitely got some major like adrenal imbalances. And just overall, my body is not epic. It's not perfect 100% health, you know, and so that's the main reason. On top of that, I really wanted to just be able to calm down, relax my mind, relax my body, get in touch with myself. So that is just, you know, so damn important to be able to like reconnect with myself and be calm. And so one of the things I was really looking forward to about going to Tanglewood, which is in the middle of nowhere, is like there's no Wi-Fi, there's no TVs in the rooms. I'm not going to have a phone, I'm not going to have a computer, and the idea is to rest completely. You know, that's not just digestive rest. It's like you lay around, do nothing. You don't want to do activities. You don't want to go for walks or be working a job or be cooking or hanging out with friends and talking. Complete rest. Close your eyes. Try to not talk too much. I was conversating a little bit throughout the day, but mostly just laying there and resting. I wasn't reading at all. I didn't do anything. And it was profound what I went through, you guys. It was beautiful. So I'm gonna walk you through kind of, you know, I guess 3 weeks at a time, you know, a week at a time. But basically I got there, I started fasting when I left my house here in Mexico. And I got to Tanglewood the next day. I got a hotel in San Jose. And it was awesome, it was chill. You know, by the time I woke up second day, I was a little hungry, you know. I didn't have any symptoms of anything. I felt a lot of energy and I was good. You know, shuttle picked me and this other girl up. And then we got to Tanglewood. That was day 2 of fasting. Went to sleep. The first day I only had a couple liters of water. I left Mexico drinking a glass of orange juice. That was like the last meal I had. And then, by day 3, when I woke up in Tanglewood, you guys, I don't know what happened, but it got gnarly. I started detoxing hard, quick. And so when I woke up the first day in this fasting retreat, the biggest fasting center on earth, I felt like crap. I was weak, I was lethargic, I was kind of bloated, even just drinking water. And I had a bad headache, and I just felt like my blood sugar was just very low, and I have diabetes in my family. I don't have diabetes, I never did. I believe I might have been like on the way to going that way, but excuse me, I went and checked my blood sugar, and it was like 40, I think 42, which is pretty damn low. And so I was like, well, that's not good. It's not the end of the world. So I went the course of like the next 2-3 days just like sipping water. The goal is to drink at least 4 liters of water a day, no more than like half a liter per hour, sipping slowly, over the course of an hour. You just sip it until you get your water in. And so I was drinking enough water, but my body was starting to detox like crazy. And so by day 3, I was like kind of freaking out. I was like, all the people there were like totally good. They were like chilling. No issues. Everybody besides me was like fine, and then over here, this dude's laying on the couch. By day 2 that I was there, I had to get a cane because I could hardly walk because I was just so weak and just almost dizzy and lightheaded. And I think the 3rd day there, maybe the 4th or 5th day fasting, my blood sugar was into the 30s. And over the course of like 7 or 8 days, it got down to 31. And so Lauren, has been doing this for nearly 30 years. He's taken so many people through fasts. He's like, we'll keep monitoring it, checking it twice a day. And then, if it gets into the 20s, mid-20s, then we'll maybe consider breaking the fast. But I stayed in the 30s. Over the next 7 days, the first 7 days there, I was just, detoxing really hard. A lot of headaches, very weak. It was hard for me to sit up. And it was hard for me to get the water down because I was getting bloated, And so by the end of like the first week, I was like, dude, this is insane, man. This is brutal. And so I had planned on filming myself and kind of each day what I was going through. But for one, my cell phone broke, and I did bring my DSLR or my Sony, but it was too heavy to really even use. And so I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'll use my phone. Then day 2, kind of a blessing in disguise, my phone broke. The charging port broke, so I didn't have a phone the rest of the time. So I didn't film anything. And by like day 4, I was like, I couldn't film anything anyway. I barely have energy to talk. I was trying to conserve all energy possible. I couldn't even really go to the bathroom like to take a shower because I didn't have a bathroom in my room. So yeah, I was detoxing really hard, a lot of headaches. And to be honest, what I kind of thought would happen happened. I knew that I would have to go through some pain. I just had this feeling that like, yo homie, you've done a lot of damage on yourself over the course of your lifetime. Like, you're gonna have to pay the price. Even though you've been putting in some heavy work, juicing and doing other forms of healing, like you're probably gonna go through some shit, and so I definitely did. And so my experience is rare that somebody will feel this bad during a water fast. Most people don't feel that bad. But the first week for me was brutal. I stopped having bowel movements after day 2. And then, it was mostly just headaches and feeling super weak and tired. And so around day 7, my body started dumping like pretty hard. Day 7 to 11 was kind of like ramping up. And I just started purging tons of filth out of myself. I started to smell really funky. I don't even think I took more than 2 or 3 showers during the time that I was like fasting, just because it really drains you taking a shower and washing yourself. Especially, I'm walking around with a cane, y'all. Like, people were looking at me like, this dude's gonna die. Obviously, I'm thin. I'm not anywhere close to being too thin to fast. I could be way skinnier and still have enough meat, enough fat reserves to continue fasting. But A lot of people were like, dude, you okay? I'm like, I mean, I'm okay, but yeah, this sucks. It's brutally painful. And so by day like 11, I was just peeing the gnarliest, most foul smelling, just filth every time I'd go pee. It was just so disgusting smelling. My skin was starting to break out. A lot of bloating. It was really hard drinking the water that I was needing to drink. On some of the days I was needing like 6 liters a day. It's always like a minimum of 4, but some people there were drinking 8 liters a day, some really dehydrated people. So I was just trying to get through it each day, and at night I would just try to lay in my room and just sleep. And there was a couple nights where I only slept maybe 10, 20 minutes. Most of the nights I got at least a couple hours. But yeah, day 11 kicked in, and then I was like, damn, I am in the deepest form of detoxing right now. Like day 11 was like when it hit. And so what happened on day 11 for me was like, holy shit, man, all the sins that I have done are like, they're finding their way to the cracks. They're trying to come out. I started having like the smell of cigarettes, the smell of just like the gnarliest sulfur coming out of my pee. The almost rotten egg smell, like that's what it smelled like. And then my skin, dude, I smelled like shit. I smelled so bad. Luckily, it just entered rainy season in Costa Rica, so it was kind of chilly, and I didn't know it was going to be that cold, so I only brought one hoodie and a pair of sweatpants, and so I would literally wear that all day and night for like basically the rest of the time because I didn't want to go shower because it was too hard. So like day 11, I just started smelling so foul. What was coming out of my tongue and my mouth and my breath was just like gnarly. And it was like, this was why I was doing this fast. Right here is exactly what I was aiming for, It typically takes the human body about, I would say, 4 to 11 days, to really start digging deep into the deepest parts of cleansing, For the first 3 to 4 days, when you start water fasting, your body starts, it kind of uses up muscle reserves to pull nutrients, to get sugar. And then it will start to convert after like day 3, and you'll start to go into ketosis, and then your body will start to eat up fat and toxins. And so I was consistently losing weight. I started at 135 when I left my house, and I think I lost like 10 pounds in that first week, maybe 11 or 12 pounds, something like that. And then it slowly got a little less each day. And my muscle mass, nothing was dropping too quick, which was great. But the detox symptoms just never let up. I never had one single day that was like totally cool. And short little like side bit. Obviously, if you guys been following me, I love durian. It's my favorite fruit on the planet. And I've never even been to Asia. I've never experienced like real fresh durian, like from the tropics, where it came from, like picked ripe, I've only had frozen durian. I've spent thousands of dollars. I've had thousands and thousands of frozen durian. So I'm like a frozen durian expert, but fortunately, but unfortunately, they got, the volunteers in Lauren, they got a bunch of fresh durian in that's grown in Costa Rica. There's only a few places in Costa Rica that grow it. And so like I became homies with everybody, all the volunteers, and me and Lauren became like really good friends. And so I also have a durian shirt that I was wearing. So people are all like, oh dude, you must be obsessed with durian. It's like, yeah. And so they got a shipment, I think like day 12 or something. And I was like, yo, man, I saw it come in. They had a case of like 50 durians, and dude, you can smell it. It's so powerful and strong. I could smell it so far away. And so I like went to Lauren. I was like, Lauren, dude, I gotta like sit here with you guys and eat this stuff tonight. Like I don't have to eat it, but I want to watch you guys. I want to see you open it and smell it and look at it. Like this is one of my biggest passions in life is durian, So, day 11, I actually had to get moved from like kind of like a little cabana style room that was really nice and peaceful, but kind of far away from the lobby where we all hang out, because I couldn't really walk anymore. I could, but it was a struggle to get up and into the lobby where we did vitals every morning and where we hang out and do lectures. So I got moved to the room that was like right next to where they do vitals at the office, just because this is like the room that people use if they can like not walk anymore. And I'm the dude now, here we go. I got moved up there. And so you know, that room was like literally right next to the kitchen. So I could smell this freaking gnarly, powerful durian all day and night for like a week. And so I was like, Lauren, dude, you got to let me like see you eat this. And he was like, you know what, this is for my staff members. We're just going to eat it tonight. And he was like, you know what, maybe I'll sit down and eat some durian with you. You can watch me eat it, like just the two of us. And I was like, dude, that would like make my year. That would be so epic for me. You know, the legend, Lauren eating like my favorite fruit, and just to be in the jungle looking at this fresh, dude, it's funky, man. Anyway, it never happened. Lauren let me smell some of the seeds the next day from the meal that they had, that all the staff members had. And just the smell of it and it being there, I actually had like 4 to 5 hours of energy that night where I wasn't walking with a cane. I was super talkative and hyper and just pumped. And followed by the next day just totally crash. So that was just like a really fun kind of experience. My mouth was watering and I was going through all the thoughts of eating food again, and just, you know, I had durian on my brain for probably 3 days. I couldn't stop thinking about eating durian. So that's, you know, a funny little side moment, but never happened. I ended up, so, you know, during the fasting process, you go through cycles where you get hungry. Not physically hungry. I was never physically hungry. It's just like mental, you know, going through all the things I used to eat, like, oh, that'd be nice. You know, I thought about chicken wings and macaroni and cheese for a little bit. And, you know, I was thinking about a lot of the like gourmet raw meals that I've had. And they have this dish at this restaurant in LA. It's like kelp noodles and a salad. It's so damn good. I was thinking about this stuff a lot and just reminiscing on the cereal and just some of the meals I used to really enjoy back when I was a kid. And it would come in for a day or two and pass, come in for a few days and then pass. And so here we are at like day 11, 12-ish, and I'm dumping. I'm like just really purging, getting weaker, not to the point where I need to break my fast. Like I'm not starving by any means. I was totally safe. I could have gone on for 3 to 4 more weeks easily with the amount of reserves I had, but I was just detoxing so hard. And some emotions, you know, started to come up. You know, and when you dig this deep, when you go inside and you're not talking to anyone, you're not stimulating yourself or watching TV or anything, like you go through some things, you know, like some really deep mental challenges. And, you know, a lot of stuff from my childhood and past were coming up, you know, some things that I have been going through with my, you know, the relationship that I was in. They were coming up, you know, all the things I regret and wish I could have done differently. And, you know, my life has changed a lot in the past year. And, you know, I've had a lot of hardship and I've been struggling, to be honest. You know, just my personal life is kind of fallen apart in a lot of ways. And it's okay, you know, it's totally okay. And I was hoping to just heal from that and allow myself to just go through the thoughts and to just process them, you know. And I did a lot. I did a lot of deep thinking. On a spiritual level, and it was pretty profound what I went through. A lot of tears were shed, a lot of crying, and just a lot of thinking about what I want, what's going to make me happy, how I can love myself better. And so this was like, you know, the end of week 2, and so I was like, well, I'm going to go for another week. 21 days is my goal. I was like, dude, I'm so struggling so hard. And everybody else there still 2 weeks in was like pretty much totally fine. There was another girl who was on, you know, she got there on day 21. She had been fasting remotely, Kashka. And she came there with her family. She was like totally functioning. Went to the airport on day 20, like totally fine, you know, functioning, totally fine. And she was thin as hell, super skinny. And so I'm just like, I'm deep in the drink. I'm detoxing heavy. Like, you know, this is my fault. I have to go through this pain. I'm willing to put in the work. I'll do whatever it takes, and I'll go as long as I can. And so day like 16 hit, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know, man. Like, between the physical weakness, the headaches that I was having, the filth and just nastiness coming out of my mouth, the burps I was having, the farts were like just gnarly and just. It would take me, you guys, like an hour and a half to like sit up. You know, I'd wake up, I'd lay like right here, I'd grab my water, I'd start sipping my water, and then it would literally take like an hour to get up and to like sit up against the wall and to like get out of bed. It would take me an hour and a half. And so like, dude, my head was heavy. My vision was starting to like, I was starting to see like white spots And this isn't dangerous. This is just, my body is cleansing itself. And some people go through some deep shit, you know. Some people's, you know, will have lymph nodes that swell up, or have tumors that swell, or have gnarly headaches, or their skin will break out, or their arthritis will flare. I was going through some other shit, you know, and usually when that happens, it usually does its thing, it works its magic, and then it disappears. But mine was, you know, it was getting worse. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm still going. I don't care. I'm not going to break my fast. I'm just like, this is very difficult. You know, I thought about breaking my fast a lot. It's like, I don't know if I can make it. But then I was like, fuck this, dude. You've been through so much stuff in your life, dude. You can handle this. You've done way harder things. He's like, wow. And then day 17 hit, and I was like, I don't know. This is really getting difficult for me. It wasn't just the physical things. Like, I can take a lot of physical pain. You know, I broke my leg severely, had 4 surgeries. I've had tons of injuries. You know, I've had some of the worst experiences ever, concussions, and, you know, I do backflips on surfboard, or not surfboards, but snowboards and BMX bikes. I've fallen a lot in my day. So the physical pain's not too big of an issue, but now it was like physical pain, consistent all day. Now I'm going through emotional pain that I'm like almost unable to handle. And then it kind of went into like a spiritual pain that I'm like, you know, starting to like just everything all at once was like bombarding on me. And so, dude, people have fasted for 4 months before. I'm only like 2.5 weeks deep. I'm like, what the hell, you know? So day 17 hits, and I'm like damn weak, still detoxing. Day 18 now, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I can do this anymore. And when I woke up on the morning of day 18, I couldn't even get up to go to the bathroom. And so, you know, I would typically wake up, I'd grab my cane, I'd walk over to the bathroom, and it would be the first trip to the bathroom would be like pretty damn hard, holding my, you know, like grandpa over here cane. And so I had to crawl to the bathroom. My colon was like kind of feeling weird. I kind of had to take a poop, but, you know, it wasn't going to happen. And so, you know, I like was so incredibly weak, I could hardly sit up at all. I could barely even make it into the lobby, which was only 10 feet away, where everybody would hang out for the day. And we'd listen to Lauren do a lecture, we'd have a Q&A, and we'd wait to talk with Lauren individually about our vitals and all that stuff. And so I would just hang out in my room, you know. I didn't even really get up to do vitals anymore. I was just like, man, I don't know if I can make it to day 21. And so that night, I tried to take a poop, and it was brutal. It didn't work. And then, you know, I knew it was my time. You know, I was like, this is a great start for my first fast. I'm going to break my fast on day 19 tomorrow. I made the decision, like, I'm going to break it. I knew I could have physically kept going for way more weeks. Like, I had enough muscle and fat still on me, but it was my time. So I talked to Lauren. I was like, I'm breaking my fast tomorrow, day 19. And I did. I broke my fast with coconut water the next day, and immediately I'm going to upload a video on that first, you know, meal that I had with coconut water, because it was mind-blowing. It was a very emotional experience for me. Going so long and restricting yourself and just going through so much pain. I was going through some deep shit. To taste sugar again, it was epic. It was monumental. It broke me. You know, I cried like a little baby. It was beautiful. The experience of tasting food again, you know, like sugar from coconut water, was amazing. So over the next couple of days, I started to refeed, started really slow with food. And then day 2 of refeeding, I tried to take a poop, and typically people won't poop till 3-4 days in after refeeding. You know, you get some fiber going, and it helps push all that stuff out. And you guys, what happens when you fast? 2 major reasons why water fasting is epic is because we are, as a human race, super dehydrated. Very dehydrated on a cellular level in every single way. Nothing we eat is hydrating. Nobody really eats fresh fruits or vegetables anymore. Nobody's eating the optimal human diet. So as a humanity, we are dehydrated. So in order to cleanse ourselves, we need to rehydrate ourselves at the deepest cellular level so we can transport these toxins out through, you know, the medium that is the transporter of everything. It's the medium. Water is transportation. It's the liquid that gives everything life. And so once you start to rehydrate your body can push it out through the kidneys, the skin, the lungs, the mucous membranes, and the colon. And so one thing is you detox your tissue, and the other thing is you clean your colon out. And so what most people don't understand is even when you're eating a raw diet, fruit-based, raw vegan, fruit and leafy green salads, 80-10-10 style, you still have this hardened material in your intestines, in your colon, that really will only disappear if you go into a deep detox like ketosis and rehydration. You have to rehydrate this old material. Imagine every meal you eat. Say you eat a meal of chicken wings, quesadilla, and you have a soda. Every time you eat a meal, you're gonna have like 1/10 of a gram, tiny little speck that's gonna be left behind. And that's why people get fat and sick and diseased. And this excess waste gets left behind and gets stuck inside your tissues and inside your colon wall, your bowel wall. And so imagine doing that every meal for decades. There's going to be a lot of waste that's going to be mega dehydrated. And so a lot of people can't ever get over their health issues because they never eliminate this hardened waste. And while I did eliminate a lot of mucoid plaque from doing juice feasting and just juicing and eating raw, I didn't even touch it, nothing, compared to what I eliminated after doing this water fast, you guys. Like, I don't want to knock juicing by any means. It changed my life. It's revolutionary, and it's good, better, best. It is a great tool, just like all other tools, just like going vegan and eating plant-based and just eating fruit. It's all tools. Meditation's a tool. But water fasting is the ultimate. Juicing is a freaking joke compared to water fasting. It doesn't even touch it. So what I went through in eliminating this waste once I started refeeding was crazy. So here we are at day 2 refeeding. I tried to take a poop, didn't happen. I kind of started to get scared. Basically over the next 2 days, some really gnarly things with my colon and my rectum happened. I'm gonna save this for a totally separate video because what I went through on the night of day 3 was the worst night of my whole life. So I'm gonna make a special video just for that, and I'm gonna title it The Worst Night of My Life, because I wasn't able to eliminate. I had to hold in what was trying to come out, but my colon, it was a rock in there. It wouldn't open up, so I had to get creative. I thought I was gonna have to go to the hospital and get some things removed. Long story short, I ended up going through a traumatizing evening, followed by the next day thinking that I was going to need to get in there with some tools to pull some things out of my booty. Ended up working out. I ended up having a bowel movement that was the worst bowel movement of my whole life. It almost changed my life. I was shaking profusely. I'm going to go into that like I said. But after I released that first hardened mass, which was probably like a turd, rock hard, like this big, I just started releasing all this stuff that was like, dude, gnarly smelling, dropped to the bottom of the toilet. Because my hand was on my booty with some rubber gloves on, I could feel it passing because it was like, I could feel it. So it was hard, super hard, and I had huge bowel movement. I needed an enema to do that, to help me get there. I was crying like crazy. It was a really insane experience what I went through in the bathroom there. It broke me. I was like, dude, I fully surrender. I am as weak. This is like my lowest moment in life. And I've had so many low moments, you guys, like just going through my healing journey. This was like by far, hands down, the most broken I had ever felt. You're gonna have to just watch the video that I put out on this night and morning specifically. You guys you're gonna crap yourself. Not literally, you're gonna freak out when you actually hear what I went through to eliminate this to have this bowel movement. It's disgusting. It's kind of hilarious, but I'll save that for another video. So here we are, day 4. I finally had a bowel movement. Boom, purged. I went from feeling like I felt like I've never felt before, terrible, the worst day of my life before that, to literally within an hour of having this first bowel movement being like, boom, lightning speed, I'm back. Like, I literally turned on. I went from being low as hell, being like, I'm gonna have to go to the hospital, I'm gonna have bowel surgery, to being like, this is the greatest moment of my life. I've never felt better. I feel like I'm floating in the clouds with the angels. I felt like I was an angel. Like I've been transcended. I'm like a part of God. I can see everything clear, like if you've ever seen the movie Limitless, that's what I felt like. I felt like I was on the drug that lets you access different parts of your brain that you've never been able to access before. And so I was like, holy shit, man, this is a drug right here. This is the ultimate drug. I feel now why people water fast, because you get total clarity. I was operating at 120% out of 100%, like couldn't feel any better. My stomach calmed down, my colon was cleaned out, for the time being. And the energy, epic. The mental clarity, epic. My skin had never felt cleaner and less blemishy in my whole life. There wasn't a single ounce of anything on me. No blemishes, no pimples, nothing. It was perfect. So soft, silky smooth. Here we are. This is like 3 weeks post breaking my fast now. My skin is still amazing. It feels so good, so clean, so pure, so soft. My skin is just beautiful right now. And so I had so much energy, and I hadn't been working out or doing anything active because I needed to have this bowel movement. I did, and it changed everything, you guys. This was what I was looking for, I took basically 19 days fasting to rehydrate this old crap so it can move out of my small intestines to go into my colon and eventually leave my body. And so with this stuff sitting in my intestines, I'm not able to gain weight, because what happens, that's that rock hard stuff that's just sitting in your intestines. It absorbs your food and then it dehydrates when you pass it. And then it absorbs more, and it just keeps going like this and like that and expanding. And it's a never ending pattern. You have to fast to get this stuff out, like the deepest stuff in there. And so over the course of about, I would say like 4 days after I had that bowel movement, the next 4 days, what I eliminated was gnarly. Every single time I'd go to the bathroom, I would have, hard material, gnarly, like definitely decades old material, followed by like some fresh stuff like papaya and pineapple and stuff. And I would probably say I eliminated at least 5, maybe 7 pounds of like hardened old waste that had been stuck in my intestines. And so, when I broke my fast on day 19, I weighed 112 pounds, which is like pretty damn thin for most people, but I felt amazing, like so freaking good. I was alive again. I got emotional after this. The next like week was like just pure happiness and joy, and I was bouncing around talking to everybody. People were like, what the hell happened to you, dude? You're like a different person right now. I'd go in the the lobby where everyone's hanging out and be like, I can't even be here right now. I got too much energy for these people who were still fasting. A lot of people who were there fasting were going for 30 to 42 days, so they're just halfway through almost. So I'm like, you got to be chill when you're around this environment. You got to be very calm and relaxed and quiet. Everybody wants to be quiet, You get very sensitive when you're fasting. So I was just like, I had uncontrollable amounts of energy. I started working out. I was bouncing on the trampoline. I started doing some push-ups and stretching and, like going for a walk in the grass. And I just came back to life really fast. And by then, I think this is like 5-6 days into refeeding. I was just like, dude, I can't believe how bad I felt. Switched over, and now just how good I feel. It's like, this is the greatest I've ever felt in my whole life. Like if you guys could experience this clarity that I'm having and just the efficiency that my body's operating at right now is just, ooh, it's like addictive, like water fasting, it's the ultimate way to heal. Like, dude, everything else is a fucking joke. Pardon my French, it's a joke, With that said, everything's relative. So in comparison to other things, water fasting is like light years more of a detox. Your body will dump so hard, but it's not for everyone, you know, like a lot of people don't have what it takes to do that, and it can be extreme to take all that time off of work, and you can't really do anything if you're really going to water fast. So that's why juice feasting is amazing, and eating raw is amazing, because you will heal. Most people will get rid of their symptoms not needing to do a water fast, but for the people that are deep chronic illness, you might have to bust out the water fast for sure. And so, there were a lot of other people there with me. There was a lot of people that were obese. There was two other dudes that I became like best friends with, Aaron and John, that similar journey, been raw, juice feasting, John Rose style for like 4 or 5 years. The one dude had, was like in his 40s, tall, kind of slim, 20 plus years arthritis, never even touched it going raw or nothing. He'd done everything I did too, and still can't gain weight either. And so he was in the same journey. He's going for 42 days. He's still there right now, actually. I just talked to him yesterday. He's on day like 38, I think. Another dude, kind of similar story with me, a lot of juicing, 250-pound like college football dude, super homie. Same thing, juicing didn't really help alleviate all of his issues. So, other people had, high blood pressure. Another dude had some like neurological issues going on with his feet. That dude was also like the same weight as me. He was going for, I think, 30 days. And, so there was all these other people fasting, and most of them looked at me the whole time like, dude, I can't believe this dude's dying this hard. Everybody, like some people knew me from Instagram. I would try to conversate with people enough, because obviously I'm around health now. This was like my ultimate environment. Everybody's here to learn about health, to detox their bodies. We're in a community now, with the King Don himself of health, Lauren, to lead us and talk to every day. But all of us who are going through this journey together are just like, it's cool to relate to people, but I didn't have a ton of energy to really talk to people on the level that I wanted to. And share my experiences, and most people there weren't raw, or they had just kind of stumbled on healing, and this was their first thing. They never even went raw. They were just, I'm a water fast. So now I'm like, dude, powerhouse of energy coming in hot, just talkative as hell. I'm like, dude, I gotta control this. So that was kind of the gist of what I went through detoxing through the fast. You guys, I can't even I'm hooked for sure. What I went through was just, it was monumental. It changed everything for me. I'm so happy to be alive now. What my body cleansed out of myself, the smells that came out, the shit that came out of my urine every day. Dry fasting is stupid. It's the opposite of rehydration, which is everyone's problem. Juice feasting is amazing. It's got its place. Eating raw and eating mono meals and herbs, they all have their place, but none of it touches water fasting, you guys. Once you go into ketosis and stop taking in nutrients, once your body starts to break down waste to, convert the waste and this nasty material in your body to nutrients to be able to operate and eliminate, man, you see beauty come out, check this out, y'all. There's a famous quote that most of you guys who have been in this raw journey have heard of. Hippocrates said it. But after I heard the actual quote, I cried the first night that I got there. This was in the opening, booklet that we had that was in our rooms when we showed up. And it was all these fasting quotes telling us what we're going to experience over the next few weeks. But this quote that I've heard, it's the Garrison Therapy quote. It's let food be thy medicine and medicine thy food. That's a pretty profound quote, right? Yes, if you don't eat right, you're going to have to take medicine. If you do eat right, the food is your medicine. You don't ever need to take it. But nobody talks about what the full quote is from Hippocrates. So what comes after that? Let food be thy medicine and medicine thy food. But to feed a man who is sick is to feed his sickness. Fireworks, lightning, going off in my brain. I'm like, oh my God, I've been doing it wrong. Fasting is the oldest, most deep, profound technique known to man, known to every species, And I've known this, but I didn't know that was the quote that came after that famous quote. And it's that's so obvious, you got to stop eating. You got to stop taking in nutrients. Even water fasting and taking in electrolytes or taking, sodium and potassium supplements while you're water fasting, that's not fasting. You are not fasting when you're doing that. The goal is to rehydrate yourself, because everyone is coming in dehydrated, to rehydrate your body so it can eliminate the waste efficiently. You have to have a transportation medium. You have to replenish the blood every day so you can build the appropriate blood pressure to eliminate waste so your body can detox optimally. So dude, I read this quote, it changed everything. I was like, holy crap, I'm a faster now, Not like I want to have to fast, but now that I've been through the process, I understand how it works. I know what is needed, on a basic level to do a safe fast, I will definitely do another long-term fast. This was the greatest thing I've ever done, the most important thing I've ever done for my health. Juice feasting for that 90 days 4 years ago was like, it brought me back from the dead. It was one of the greatest things I've ever done. But the amount of power that I got in just 19 days fasting on water, like, blew that juice feast out of the water, I don't want to compare them really, because they're in a totally different category. Juice feasting, you can still function, you're going to cleanse so much of your body, and it's epic and monumental in its own way. And the amazing part of it is that you can still function and live. But when you water fast, you have to take, at least a month off of work. You can't do anything. You're not really going to truly fast unless you just stop doing everything. So I didn't want to do that. That's why I've waited 4 years to do a water fast, because I wasn't ready. And so, here I am. I'm basically like, I'm not ready to water fast yet. And then it just hit me like a month and a half ago. I was like, relationship issues, bodily issues, good time in the world right now. I'm just having a lot of thoughts about my life and just all the trauma I've been through dealing with this, healing myself over the past 10 years. It's just like, I need to go hide. All the media that's been coming at us with the jabs and the stupid virus that's floating around, whatever. It's just been really getting to me. I've been kind of depressed lately, and I needed to just go away. And so this experience changed my life forever. I learned a lot about myself. I cleaned so much out of my body. And to just be quiet for a month. Most people will never be quiet for a minute. Most people will never go a day without eating, or they'll never even skip a meal. So to go without nutrients for 19 days and to do the ultimate cleansing method, and to totally go away from society and get off my phone and my computer and be away from people, really. And society, obviously we all know what's going on right now. Some crazy stuff is happening in the world that, it can be really stressful, and to just get away from that and stress and lay in a hammock, listen to nature. Every night I'd sleep, I could just hear the bugs and the critters. There's hundreds and thousands of bugs and animals and monkeys, and it was such a beautiful experience to just reconnect with myself. After I started refeeding, I had enough energy to go to the nightly meditations. We would meditate for 20 minutes. Lauren would read a passage from, a book called Love Without Condition, I think it was called. And, just learning how to love yourself more, because I don't love myself. I have a lot of childhood trauma from the way I was raised. And just a lot of trauma just from being sick and, trying to rediscover who I am now. I'm not this crazy partied animal who's traveling the world, commercial photographer, successful, and going on all these rad surf trips and partying with celebrities, and not a ton of celebrities, but a lot of pro athletes. Some people think they're celebrities, but I went from that life, having so much passion about photography, and I eat, slept, and breathed photography, surfing, and snowboarding. I worked for magazines, shot covers of ESPN magazines and all these huge clients and stuff, to being like, I don't know if I love that anymore. Also being like, I don't know if I can even do this anymore, because I physically can't, just because I got so sick. So, I spent the past 4 years trying to heal myself, and I did lose sight of kind of who I was in a way, the old Jeff. And so I went through, I'd say a week and a half as I refed, just kind of all these thoughts were coming out, who am I now? I obviously am obsessed with health, and I love it, and I love talking about detox, and I love working with people on their health issues, and I love that, but I still have this old person who's like an adventurous, active dude who, likes ladies, and I love traveling, and I like eating food, and I like to cook. I'll probably never eat cooked food again, but I love to like make food for people. And I love talking. I'm like the most social dude ever. But I've changed so much in the past 4 years as to what I like, because I've kind of been forced to find different things that make me happy. To kind of having like a midlife crisis, I guess. I'm about to turn 37, Obviously, I shaved my head. I feel like this was one of the most cleansing experiences ever. It feels so damn good. But I was just like, I need to go through a deep cleanse right now on every level, not just eliminating waste from my body, but eliminating waste from my life, getting rid of toxic relationships, friends, colleagues that I used to work with, just toxic people that were in my life. I just need to get away from that for a while. I need to get away from the media and the phone, just the constant bombardment. And what I discovered in myself was a new profound ability to be able to love myself now, because I recognize some things that I didn't before. And in order for me to move forward as a healthy partner, as a healthy friend, as a legendary person and a hero, I need to love myself, and I need to know who I am more clearly. And while I might seem very confident, if you meet me in person, I am super confident. I know who I am in a lot of ways, but I'm also lost in a lot of other ways, and so I shed a lot of tears there. And even being back home for the past week, I've been crying a lot, just having a lot of emotional releases, and it's natural. I'm totally okay with it, and I'm just kind of like, I'm like surrendering, I'm just letting myself go through the process of healing on every level. When you fast on water for almost 3 weeks, even more, you go through some pretty profound changes. And I see life a lot more clearly than I did. I'm way more calm and relaxed. I feel like I have the ability to be way more present than I used to, which was one of the, things that I didn't love about myself. I was always distracted, always kind of like waiting to talk, or waiting to do something, or looking for something else to do, just kind of hyper. And so I'm like really calm now compared to how I was a month and a half ago. So that was like really cool. And so, I will continue to do more long-term fasts, not because I'm addicted to fasting, but because I want to cleanse myself completely. And if you're going through crazy detox symptoms while you're fasting, you are not healthy. So I will probably do at least 2 to 3 more long-term fasts. You should be able to fast and not go through any crazy detox symptoms, And so I'm going to keep fasting until I eliminate all the hard, gnarly stuff from my body. And it could take 2 or 3 more long fasts, Eventually, once I get my body clean enough and I can fast without going through like any crazy detox symptoms, I'd like to do a long-term spiritual fast, because once you clean your body, then the deeper stuff comes out. And so, what's up, buddy? What's up? Yes, Max has fasted a couple of times. It helped. But once you go through like a purging of toxins and you get your body clean, then you kind of go into the deeper emotional and spiritual fasting. And so, I'm not going to fast for 30 days every year for the rest of my life. I'm going to fast until I'm clean, So I plan now, what my plan is now is to spend the next month to 3 months to 6 months just really keeping my diet simple, fruit and salad, and working out a ton, trying to regain this weight that I've never been able to gain. I really want to be able to surf like a boss again and not feel like I'm some weak, skinny dude when I'm out there surfing. I want to be able to take on big waves and get smoked on, double overhead waves, take them to the head and be totally fine and just shake them off, And I haven't been able to do that in years just because I've lost a lot of weight. I've been weak. And then once I kind of started getting strong again, I broke my leg. So I'm still rehabbing that. So I'm going to spend the next year rebuilding myself, prepping for another fast to eliminate more stuff from my body, my life, my mind, my spirit, and to get even cleaner and more efficient. And after I do that one, I'll probably be able to be even stronger and healthier. And so this is just like an ongoing thing until I'm totally clean. You know, I want to be healthy. I want to be 165 pounds, muscular, with no health issues, amazing mental clarity, and the ability to you know, tap into my own self, not have any crazy emotions and traumas that I haven't dealt with. And so, you know, I will probably do another fast in like a year, maybe. You know, I'm not going to like make any guarantees, but I'm already addicted to how much toxins you can remove from your body. I still have so much more in me. I can feel it. Max, what are you doing? Come here, Max. Watch out. Sit. Down. Sit. 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 Down. Down. Lay down. Nope. Down. 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 Lay down. Max, down. Come on, silly boy. Lay down. What are you doing? Good boy. Yes. Yes, you're a good boy. I'm not gonna take Max out to go potty. But yeah, man, like I'm here to be the guinea pig for people who want to heal themselves. What I've been through with my juicing journey, with my eating raw journey, now with my fasting journey, it's a unique experience, and I'm not willing to take medicine at all, ever. There's nothing healthy about taking medicine. It is straight poison. I'm not willing to lighten up on my diet because the human diet is fruit and leafy greens. That's it. That's really it. And so most people will run optimally. They'll feel amazing eating this diet, but I haven't been functioning at my best eating, you know, a diet that should be optimal, that makes me feel epic. And so while I have energy, I don't feel epic. And so right now I feel epic, and I'm hoping this will last. So right now my digestion is still not epic, even though I feel epic. My head is crystal clear. My digestion is still taking a while. You know, I'm 3 weeks deep. It's taken a while to like regain the ability to like really digest fiber. And every time I have like a big bowel movement, it seems to get a little better and a little better. And so I'm hoping that improves a lot. I'm still not doing salads. I'm literally just on eating fruit right now. I'm having 4 meals a day every 3 hours. I start my day with, you know, 1.5 liters, maybe 2 liters of coconut water that I kind of sip over the course of like half an hour. I'm still drinking 2 to 4 liters of water a day. Sipping, always. The reason we sip water when we fast is because if you drink it, if you chug it, you dilute your electrolytes, and you will end up peeing out electrolytes. And the only way to get electrolytes is to eat. And so you're trying to conserve electrolytes. You're trying to not sweat. You don't want to sweat when you're fasting because that's another way you'll lose electrolytes. So yeah, I'm sipping water. I'm trying to drink water in between my meals. I usually will drink 1 liter before I start even drinking coconut water. And then my first meal has been either coconut water or like watermelon. Second meal of the day is usually like papaya, like a big plate of papaya or like mangoes. And then third or fourth meal is just like mangoes or pineapple or, you know, like watermelon or maybe even coconut water again. You know, I don't really know how many calories I'm getting right now. I really don't care. I'm slowly going to start bringing back in more dense foods, fattier foods. I've eaten some bananas. I'm just kind of taking it real slow to get back into the fats because my digestion, for one, is not epic yet. And I tried some leafy greens. They didn't really go down very good. They gave me a little bit of pain. So I'm just slow walking. I was hoping to have better digestion straight out of this because I've heard so many people be like, dude, after I fasted, my digestion was at 100%. It was perfect. And so I personally haven't experienced that yet. I know for some people it can take a while. And from others who have fasted, it can take months to still eliminate this hard waste. I'm 3 weeks deep and I'm still eliminating this hardened material. I can feel it when it comes out. It kind of hurts when it comes out. And so that's kind of like what I'm doing right now, you know. I know a couple of people asked what type of water I'm drinking. Right now I'm just drinking like, to be honest, I have a water distiller, but it kind of broke. And so I'm just drinking bottled kind of like water from the store right now, like filtered water. I've been trying to find filtered distilled water. I've also been trying to find the ultimate, which is glass bottled spring water. I just haven't been, you know, I live in Mexico. There's not a ton of place to get like all this fancy stuff. So I recommend drinking fresh spring water as opposed to distilled water. It's got minerals in it, organic minerals. It's got natural minerals in it. And you know, you need natural, structured, living water that has minerals to help conduct electricity to allow your body to really ultimately detox as well as it can. And so you can do a water fast with other waters and distilled water, but it's not going to be as good as you can doing one with like spring water. So at Tanglewood, the property there is surrounded by fruit trees. It's in the middle of the jungle. It's beautiful. It's serene. And so the water they use that we drink is like natural spring water from under the property that's, you know, tested frequently, and it's amazing. It tastes so pure and good. It's delicious. So yeah, that's what I recommend, you know. So I'm gonna be still drinking a lot of water over the next like month or two, still trying to get at least 2 to 4 liters. Sometimes I'm trying to do almost 5 liters just to keep rehydrating the stuff that's in my colon so it doesn't, you know, like dehydrate and get stuck again. So that on top of like slowly bringing back in some fattier meals. Eventually I'll go back, I'll start eating salads again once my digestion cleans up a little bit. I still got some issue going on with my rectum that you'll find out about once you watch this other video that I'll put out here soon. But other than that, I'm just like looking forward to like reconnecting with some friends, getting back into working. I've started my health coaching services again as of this week. And so, you know, I'm just like really looking forward to like diving really hard into health, working out a ton. You know, I've been going on a daily walk with my dog, and I'm now jogging around the neighborhood. I work out at least once or twice a day. When I the first day I started working out, I couldn't even do 1 girl push-up. Like obviously you guys, I know I'm skinny. I know I don't look like the ultimate dude right now. But I'm getting there. Now I can do like 15 girl push-ups. You know, I can do tons of squats again. And so I'm gaining back some muscle. My digestion is probably going to, you know, take a while, and hopefully that comes back quick. And as soon as that does, I'll start gaining more weight. Max, come here. You know, but I've had like really bad digestion for 10 years. So even though I've got my body to a good place with my digestion over the past like couple of years, really fine tuning it, I can't veer out of that at all, you know? And so, you know, I'm hoping that it comes back on, and I'm gaining weight back. I think when I broke my fast, I was 112. Now I'm like 114, plus all the waste that I eliminated, probably 5 to 7 pounds of waste matter. And so, you know, at nighttime, I think I weighed like 118 pounds. You know, in the mornings, I'm like 114 because I, you know, went to the bathroom a bunch. But yeah, I'm really concentrating on just being simple. I really want to simplify my life and get back to the roots of like what I want, find the things that really make me happy and do those. And so I love health. I love photography. I love making videos. I'm still going to be working with some photography and video clients. I'm still going to be doing a lot of health coaching. You know, right now I have like 7 clients that I'm working with, and I try to not go over, you know, anywhere from 5 to 10 for me is like, that's kind of the extent that I like to take on. Otherwise it's just too much for me. And I like to be able to devote my attention to, you know, less clients so I can really focus on them and, you know, communicating with them. And then still focusing on myself, and I'm building some things for Jeff Juices, you know, as well as continuing to finish these. I've got a set of ebooks, recipe books that I've been working on for several months that I had to put on pause. I'm going to be continuing those, hopefully pump those out here in the next few months. And then got some bigger projects in the works that I would like to work on that I can't really talk about just yet, but they're grand ideas, like big time ideas. So just really excited to live again and to get back into the swing of things. And you guys, I would just like to say this, you know, look at the world around us. We are coming from a place of total degeneration. We've been eating the wrong diet for millennia, for thousands of years now. Humans were designed to eat fruit and salads. We're designed to be in the tropics, to live without our clothes on, to get vitamin D from the sun every single day, to be active, to be thin and fit and flexible and hydrated. And so it's going to take generations probably of people doing what I'm doing right now to fix our kids. You know, it might take 2 or 3 generations to really start to regenerate my DNA. So you know, we got to understand that, like, dude, we're coming from the most toxic environment. Over 60% of the US population is obese. That's not even just overweight, that is obese. You guys, we are killing ourselves with food, we're killing ourselves with chemicals, the jabs. We're killing ourselves on almost every single level. So we gotta wake up. We gotta understand that, yo, we're being attacked right now on every level. So what we need to do is we need to fast, we need to eat living foods, we need to eat a fruit-based diet, we need to drink juice as a tool to get us back to optimal health. We need to meditate, we need to communicate with our neighbors, and we need to plant trees and take our shoes off and take our shirts off and ground our feet, and we need to live in the tropics, you know. And if you can't do that, you gotta make do, you gotta do your best. And so most people who live in a cold climate, the best they can do is to eat, you know, as close to raw as possible. And that's gonna help them, that's gonna help regenerate their bodies as best as they can for what they're given. And so, you know, if you just walk outside, you go to a bowling alley, everybody's fat and stupid and sick. The conversation levels are almost dumb. Nobody reads books anymore. You know, obviously some people do, but the majority of people are just sucked into their telephones or cell phones, scrolling on social media, listening to CNN, listening to the propaganda of Fox News and CNN and all the bullshit politicians that are spewing out enslavement propaganda. You know, we're being brainwashed to live the opposite way that humans should live. And so the healthy way for a human to live is as close as we can to nature, you know. And that's outside, that's eating fresh living food from our own properties or our neighbors or the farmers that are close to us, and being active and sweating. And we should be running efficiently into the old age of late 80s, 90s, hundreds. And if we detox ourselves, you know, and we pair with other people detox, and we spend generations having babies that are clean, our kids will be able to live, if they're eating the right diet, living in the right environment, to 130 years old, easy. You know, that's how old humans should live if we're like eating the right diet, living in the right conditions. So, yo, you guys, I'm addicted to fasting. I love it. I can't thank Loren Lockman enough. He's the most beautiful human. One of the most beautiful humans I know. Tanglewood is a beautiful place. I recommend checking that place out. And you know, if you've gone down the journey of raw, if you've tried juice feasting several times and it didn't work for you, you might want to look into water fasting. It changed my life. I'm a totally different person. I'm so inspired now. And I just can't say enough good things about what I went through. Yeah, it was hard, like very hard. One of the hardest things I've ever done, but the way I feel now, I have no regrets. I would do that 100 times over again. I would go through that suffering I went through to experiencing the benefits that I'm feeling now. And this is just the beginning, yo. I'm transforming myself into a legend. And you know, you got to go through the steps. You have to go through the pain. When I say legend, I don't mean like, yo, this popular dude. I just mean in a legend in my own body. I want to be a hero. I want to be able to achieve what I want to do in life. And I want to feel great doing that. And so there's not many ways to do it. Water fasting is the deepest healing tool that we have left on earth. And if we lose this tool, if we lose sight of deep cellular regeneration, then our future generations of babies aren't going to be looking so good, especially if we're getting all jabbed up by old Microsoft boy, you know. So that's kind of my journey. Stay tuned for these new videos that are going to be coming out. Unfortunately, I didn't film anything that when I was in Tanglewood, you know, and it was one of the greatest decisions I made. I was really able to just connect with myself and the people that I was there with. I made some lifelong friendships. I became really good friends with Loren. He's a legend, and I consider him a good friend now. He's taught me so much. I did an interview with him, about an hour-long interview with Loren, just about lots of things, fasting, just all sorts of health. And so look for that video to come out, as well as some more videos that I'm going to put out on some more stories that I got from my experience fasting. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you've done a long-term water fast, I'd love to know your thoughts, your experiences. Have you juice feasted and you didn't really get the results you wanted, or did you juice feast and it healed everything you wanted to? Let me know if you have any questions on any of this stuff. I'll try to address them in the comments below, and also in any future videos I put out on water fasting. So that's pretty much it. If you guys want to learn more information about me, you can follow me on Instagram at JeffJuices, or you can go to my website, jeffjuices.com. And I'm just here happy to share my journey, happy to share what I've been through in my life, hoping it helps others, and really hope you guys can gain some knowledge after what I went through over this past month, because it was pretty deep, it was pretty crazy, and what happened in my body was just nothing short of beauty and amazingness. So that's it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.